Okay, welcome back. Oh, wait, that was the key door. Okay, so I was gonna talk about The Walking Dead. That Rick's last episode. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. It felt like a lot of missed potential with wrapping up his entire arc of his entire story. It just wasn't satisfying. I'm not a good. I don't know what it should have been. I'm not good like that, but I know that I didn't like what I got. Wasn't satisfying. And it had nothing to do with the fact that he didn't die at the end, because he's gone from the show forever. So there is supposed to be some movies with him. But his show arc is done. Okay, now jump. So obviously the show. Well, look at that thing. Ah. The episode's only 40 minutes long, which kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be longer. Because sometimes they do hour-long episodes and 70-minute episodes or whatever. And they only spent half the episode with Rick. The other half was with Maggie and Michonne. They spent a lot of time with them. Why couldn't they do that in another episode? This should have been Rick's episode. It should have focused on him the whole time. Am I too far? I don't know. I'll have to figure it out next time. Jump. I like that they tried to do something that I like, which is Rick kind of talking with the two people that affected him most as a leader, which is Shane and Herschel. And I like that he was like, he had a flashback, or not a flashback, but he was able to talk to them. But those conversations were really short. I wish they were longer, and I wish there was just more meat in them. There wasn't much to it. But yeah, Shane and Herschel were the right choices for those two. Shane was the one who helped Rick be more ruthless and a killer, which he is. And Herschel was the one who helped him be more, like, I guess, like, group oriented with his decisions, and to try to help to be more selfless, I feel like. I need like a boomerang or something. So I like that they picked those two characters, but they just didn't. I was trying to think of what I wanted them to say, and Shane got the closest to what I wanted him to say. Oh, this guy looks tough. They had a conversation where he was like, he brought up some times where Rick was ruthless after Shane had died. So Rick, in like season 4, he bites this guy's neck and kills him. And Shane was like, yeah, that was me. I help, you wouldn't have done that without me, or something like that. And then Herschel didn't really say anything interesting. I wish he had brought up some stuff about, like, at the very least, brought up some stuff about why Rick was the way he was. I still don't really know what I wanted them to talk about, but I knew it was a good idea for them to talk. And I knew what they talked about in the show wasn't interesting at all. But I don't know what I wanted them to say. Maybe the show and Rick's character has kind of gotten muddled over 9 seasons of character arcs, so it's kind of hard to pin it down to one thing. This is his arc, but I feel like they did do a good job with his arc in the past season, through season 8 to when he leaves. I got the boomerang. It had a lot to do with Carl and him dying, and I really liked what they did there, if I can remember it right. The reason why Rick doesn't kill Negan is because of Carl and Carl dying, and just all that stuff. I remember liking it. Because Carl could see, in a kind of meta way, Carl could see the pattern of what the show had fallen into, which was new group, they have a bad guy as a leader, Rick kills the bad guy, and then they move on, and Rick becomes more ruthless. That's kind of the pattern. And Carl could see this pattern, and he wanted his dad, he didn't like the path his dad was going down, I guess, and he wanted him to stop, and he knew the only way to do it was to not kill Negan this time, like he did all the other times. And in the end, he ends up not killing him. And I liked all that, but it was the worst crime in the episode was that they didn't have Carl in one of the visions. I felt like it would have been a perfect opportunity. You have Shane, which is a good choice, then Herschel, which is a good choice, and then they have, what's her name? I can't even remember her name. Do I have it written down? The girl who dies, Sasha. Why did they pick her? She's the final vision, and she just says some bland crap about like you won't be forgotten. Rick has a line, and he does really good acting in that scene where he's like, Sasha's like, it's not over, it's not ending, and Rick's like, it feels like it's ending. I really like that line. But Sasha kind of ruins it, because why is she there? It doesn't make sense. It would have been perfect to have Carl there. And then you can wrap up Rick's whole arc with him and Carl, and have him talk to Carl about what he needs to talk about to reconcile whatever he needs to move on. And it would have went a long way to helping that episode be better, even though it still wouldn't have been great. But one of the best relationships in the whole show is between Rick and Carl, and the fact that they don't they have Sasha there. This is crazy to me. I wanted to talk about that time jump. So I got the boomerang, which means I can use it on here. Whoops. That's not right. How do I do this then? Do I have to... I thought that was going to be the answer. I haven't watched the time jump episode yet, but they do the time jump in the Rick episode. That's like another thing they tack onto the end. It's so much stuff in there that just focus on Rick. It's his ending. They do a time jump in the 9th season. Can I just do this? Oh. It's 6 years, which is ridiculous to me. I looked online. I was looking on the Reddit, and somebody did a timeline. Oh, I'm blinking. Why am I blinking? So from the beginning of the show to season 8 is 3 years. Which I always felt like they could have done little time jumps in there, just to have Carl's age make sense. Between seasons, and there were some seasons where you could have just been like, that's been a year. So it's really jarring, and I didn't like it that all of a sudden they jump 6 years. I don't know exactly why I didn't like it, because I didn't watch that episode yet, but I remember thinking, it's been 6 years, and what's happened? Think about how much has happened in the previous 3 years. Like, so many people died, and think about how much Rick changed from the first season to now. To jump 6 years and to have everything be pretty much the same. Maggie leaves, and I forget, Carol has like gray hair now, and that's it. That's everything that's changed, and everybody's still kind of acting the same. I like time jumps in TV shows. It's fun to kind of jump forward and have so much stuff be different, and then kind of have to figure out, like, well, what's happening? Like, why is this person acting this way? Like, what happened to this person? But they didn't have any fun in this show. They were just like, okay, it's 6 years later. We don't want to have to deal with Rick dying, so okay, it's 6 years later. So I didn't like that. I can't think of any examples of time jumps, but I remember liking, I don't know, in the abstract, for some reason, I remember liking time jumps in TV shows. Why can't I think of any? Oh, they do one in Lost, I think. It's like 3 years later, and then they jump back. I remember liking that. Anything else? I guess that's it. It's probably 15 minutes. Making some progress, I feel like. Okay. Ew. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I think I'll just do one more episode today. Okay, see you tomorrow.